If you're looking for Detroit Lions content, you've come to the right place because the Detroit Lions had an abundance of content coming out today. We had to actually push some videos to tomorrow, so you'll see some that are scheduled. They got today's date on them, but they will be released tomorrow because this took top priority. But we have officially got the unofficial roster depth chart for the Detroit Lions, and it is as follows. I don't think a lot of these will be a surprise, but first of all, looking at this thing, this is coming from Eric Woodyard's Twitter, looking at this thing, man, just looking at the way it used to look with the 90-man roster and seeing almost half of those guys gone, 37 to be exact. This is now what the 53-man roster looks like. Okay, so wide receiver, we're going to start off with Jamison Williams. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown as wide receiver 1 and 2. Taylor Decker, left tackle. Left guard is Graham Glasgow. Center, Frank the Tank, obviously. Right guard, Kevin Zeitler. Right tackle, Penei Sewell. Tight end, Sam Laporta. Wide receiver, Khalif Raymond. Jared Goff, and David Montgomery as the unofficial starter for the Detroit Lions. Then if we go to the defensive side of the ball, we are going to have Marcus Davenport as the edge, Aleem McNeil with DJ Reader in the middle, and then Aiden Hutchinson is the opposite edge. So right now, we all knew this already, but Marcus Davenport is the unofficial or the official Aiden Hutchinson help, man, opposite Hutch. We've got Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, and Derek Barnes as the starting linebackers, with secondary with Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold. We already knew that. Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. That will be your starters on defense and offense. If we look down here to special teams, we've got Jake Bates. Jack Fox is the holder and the punter, obviously. Hogan Hatton is the long snapper. The kick returner is Khalif Raymond. And also Craig Reynolds down at the very, very bottom there. This is a unique situation. We're going to touch on that in a little bit. Now, let's go up to the second squad. We're going to go with Isaiah Williams is the backup wide receiver. There's a spot missing right there. We totally expect that spot to be filled by a Tim Patrick or somebody in the near future. I would expect somebody to be elevated before the game. Dan Skipper will back up Taylor Decker. Coyote Owasika will back up Graham Glasgow. Michael Neese will back up Frank as the center. Then we don't have a backup to Kevin, which is a bit concerning, but I'm sure Brad and Dan will be working the phones or something, like maybe somebody on the practice squad. Penei Sewell will be backed up by Kobe Sorsdahl, the second-year player. Brock Wright will back up Sam Laporta. We also don't have, so see, this is why I would like to carry 6, because this guy would have a backup and this guy would have a backup. That would give us 6 wide receivers. Then, but we'll see. We have those guys on the practice squad. Hendon Hooker won the number 2 job, and Jahmyr Gibbs would be the backup to David Montgomery, but we already know how they're going to be used. Going down to defense here, we've got Josh Pascal back up to Davenport, so they're going to have him playing more edge as though it appears. We're going to have Mekhi Wingo, the undersized DT, is going to back up another undersized DT with Aleem McNeil. Levi is going to be playing the interior, backing up DJ Reader. James Houston is going to be playing edge, so when we don't see Aiden, we'll see James, and I'm sure they'll get them a package. If this is any time for James Houston to shine, it is now. Then we have back up here, where we at here? Okay, Alex Anzalone will be backed up by Ben Neiman. We got Jalen Reeves-Maben is going to back up Jack Campbell. Malcolm Rodriguez will back up Derek Barnes, with Ennis Rakestraw backing up Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson backing up Terrion, Afitu Melifonwu backing up Brian, and Brandon Joseph backing up the Kirby Joseph. So they got the Joseph brothers, no relation. Then we've got, if we go to the third string over here, Giovanni Manu, Parker Hess, Craig Reynolds, with Vaki actually is the 4th string running back. But all of this stuff is interchangeable. And again, this is unofficial. Then we got on the defensive side of the ball, Trevor Nowalski, Khalil Dorsey, Kendall Vildur, and Lauren Strickland. Hopefully we never have to see these people in an actual game. That's like what we do, but you know what I'm saying, play a significant role in the game. We were here last year for the NFC title game. This is where we were. And then, man, I mean, looking at the roster, it just looks so bare bones because we have been looking at a 90-man roster for so long. But I got some thoughts down here on Khalif Raymond and Craig Reynolds. Remember, Dan Campbell said that Khalif is essentially doubling as the third wide receiver and the kick returner. But because he's going to have those duties, kicks and punts, they don't want to wear him out in offensive snaps. So that can mean a few things. One is that any number of guys could be put in kick return duties, punt return duties. I saw Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, all returning kicks, specifically kicks. I want to be clear, when I was at practice. So any one of those guys are interchangeable. But the fact that we are going into the season with 4 wide receivers on the active roster, then we have Khalif Raymond kind of pulling double duty. I could see a 5th and 6th wide receiver be pulled up to the active roster. I don't know who we would have to drop for that to happen, but I could also see them spreading the duties out with a Jamison Williams, a Jahmyr Gibbs, because with the way the kickoff rule is now, I think they feel much more comfortable letting these guys like a J-Mo, like a Monty, like a Gibbs return kicks because of the way it is now. If we have not seen J-Mo in the 2 years he's been here return anything. We have not seen Jahmyr do it last year either. I think this year they entertain it. Do we see it? I'm not so sure, but I think they'll entertain it. So let me know what you think of the unofficial 53-man roster, or depth chart, I'm sorry, from the Detroit Lions. Again, all of these are interchangeable, really. I think the first string is pretty set, but the second string mostly. But when we're talking about a kick return, punt returner guys, stuff like that, then we could see Vaki move up and things like that. So, man, it's just so weird. All season, we've been looking at 90 men, and we're down 37. Now, don't forget, this does still hold that spot that's still available for the active roster. So I would assume that another receiver is going to be brought back to the 50 or brought to the 53-man roster. But I tell you what, man, I don't really know how many offensive linemen we have on the practice squad, but when you guys talk about offensive line depth, I can see what you mean now, because there are holes on the offensive line if one of those guys goes down. You've got Kevin. There's nobody depth-wise on this chart to back him up. So do we have that guy? Do we have a guy that can do what he does? So right now, all our dudes is healthy. Again, the official injury report will not come out till Friday. So we'll, know, and I don't expect to see anybody that we don't expect. DJ Reader is probably a no, leaning toward no, but it could be yes. And Iffy is more than likely going to be a no. And then, we'll go from there. So let me know what you think in the comments below of the unofficial Detroit Lions depth chart. I feel good, man. I definitely feel good. Let me see. We have definitely improved from last year. Let me just do this real quick. We got like a minute left. So let me run over this real quick. Spots that really stand out from last year. Okay, so Jamison Williams is essentially going to replace Josh Reynolds, but he was out there as well. The offensive line mostly stays the same, but we've replaced Jonah Jackson with Kevin, so I believe that's an upgrade. Sam Laporta, Khalif Raymond, so that was pretty much solid. Go to the defensive side of the ball. I do believe a healthy Marcus Davenport could be an upgrade over a Julian Okwara, Charles Harris, one of those guys. DJ Reader is definitely an upgrade over Benito Jones and Isaiah Buggs and those guys. Linebacker core was still the same. Here's where it really gets good. Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold. This is leaps and bounds better than Cameron Sutton and Jerry Jacobs, right? So, and Emmanuel Mosley, we never got to see him. So I think that overall that the roster has improved from last year. Offense didn't really need much improvement, but we just essentially swapped out one guy. Well, Josh Reynolds is gone and Jonah Jackson is gone. So the offense is pretty much the same, 85, 90% the same. But the defense is where that's where we needed to see the biggest change. And hopefully that's where we will. If the offense can stay the same, which I do believe they will, they'll still be right around that, in my opinion, no worse than top 5. It really depends on how much can Jamison Williams offset the loss of Josh Reynolds. And the Tim Patrick, can he come in and can we spread the offense out where those 600 yards and those clutch receptions, yeah, I know what you're going to say, can be replaced. The defensive side of the ball is where we're going to really pass defense. We were 27th. Are we going to be top 15, top 20? I mean, if we can get in the top half of the league, that would be nice. That really would be nice. So we shall see. Or even the second, third, man. That's an increase from last year, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel as well. Very, very close to 22,000, and you guys can help me get there. I will be at the Rams game on Sunday, but we have the pregame tailgate that will be Sunday at 4:30. We have Detroit Lions Weekly that will be Wednesday at 4 because I will be down for the loyal season ticket holder thing on Thursday, so I will not be able to go. And then we have a 12:30 a.m. Monday morning post-game show that we will be live for about an hour. So yeah, make sure you guys maybe, I don't know, take a nap before the game starts and stay up with your boy, man. Phone lines will be back open for those of you who want to call in. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Now I can finally go cut the grass.